Welcome back to my channel and welcome to a Nancy Meyers inspired Amazon home decor shop with me. I was in the middle of updating my Amazon storefront with my July home decor finds. I do these videos pretty much every single month and I really try to dig and find home decor when I realized how much of my home decor is very similar to Nancy Meyers' home. Now, when I talk about Nancy Meyers inspired home decor, I'm talking about her actual home that she shared with AD a couple years ago. It is so incredibly inspiring. And the reason why I think it's so inspiring is because it feels very achievable. It feels very approachable and like something that we can create in our homes. Oftentimes I find that celebrity homes are so out of reach and out of touch. It's fun to look at, but oftentimes I find myself feeling like it's not something I can totally achieve in my home. But Nancy Meyers, now that is something I think we can all achieve, whether it is her set styling or her actual home herself. She has such an approachable feeling about her decor that feels realistic. It feels like something I can accomplish in my home. So I decided to make a whole Amazon list of decor that really look like would belong in her home. So without further ado, let's get into this list. Let's look at what I have. Now, I will warn you, if you are someone who watches a lot of my videos, you're gonna see a lot of similar items. So I just thought I would warn you before we get into this because I just wanted to kind of curate that board and pull all the pieces from all my other boards into one that was specifically Nancy Meyers inspired. I also have been working on my July new decor finds. So that is up. You can kind of start digging through it now. I'll probably do another video soon with the July finds, but I am just way too excited. So we're gonna get right into Nancy Meyers inspired home. You will see I don't have a ton of like little tchotchkes or trinkets because when I looked through Nancy Meyers photos that were shared, there isn't a lot of that. There isn't a lot of that at all. In fact, the only things I really noticed were coffee table books. She had some candlesticks and hurricanes, a couple throw blankets, but not a ton of decor. Oh, and a ton of baskets. She does love baskets. And I think baskets are so great because you can hide stuff in them. They're very functional. And that's just what I noticed. Her decor was very functional. So when you go through my decor, I have quite a bit of different hurricane pieces that I tried to find that would look like they were in Nancy Meyers' homes. First being these set of 3. They're glass with black metal around them. I saved these in this board because they reminded me of some of the lanterns that she uses throughout her home and seemed like something she would have in her home. I also noticed a lot of hurricanes like on her coffee table. She had these tall hurricane candle holders. So I put a few different candle holders in this board that to me looked like I would find them in Nancy Meyers' home. I screenshotted a ton of photos from the Architectural Digest blog post that they did. I'll also link the blog post down below. Just was looking through them and just wondering, what is it about Nancy Meyers' home that we're all inspired about and what's got everyone talking? And I'm talking again just about her home specifically. Now with her set styling, you can really kind of feel the nostalgia that comes across in the set styling. But when it comes to her home, I find it to be very sophisticated, very clean and inviting and approachable. And like I said, something that we can accomplish. Looking through just real quickly through these pieces, she's very pared back actually compared to her set styling. And it's very intentional. It feels very functional. Everything has a reason. When you look at her kitchen, she has everything that's out looks like it's out on purpose. Her fruit bowl, a little bit of greenery for decor, another little fruit bowl in the back, plates that maybe she's gonna be making dinner for. It doesn't feel overly styled, if that makes sense. Even this little table and her coffee table, it doesn't have a bunch of little decor pieces on there. It's extremely pared back, which I found very comforting and very just like serene in a way. The other thing I noticed about her styling is that has a lot of layered lighting and a lot of textures. And to me, I think that that really creates an ambiance and a vibe. The textures really allow you to see different layers and different textures and can be very appealing to the eye. And then the lighting obviously carries a lot of ambiance. Another thing I noticed, which I love because I've always loved a lantern pendant. I find it very timeless. But sometimes I get a little like, oh, is it like too, like I don't see them as much anymore. But you know what? I love them. And they are very traditional and timeless to me. And just depending on how you decorate, you can really create any vibe that you want. So I found 3 different ones that I really loved on Amazon. Specifically, I think my favorite one is this one here. It looks very vintage. It actually looks like a replica of a vintage or antique pendant light. I just absolutely love this. I think if you had an outdoor space and you had some lanterns out there or pendant light lanterns, oh my gosh, I just find them, I don't know, very comforting. And that might sound funny being a light fixture, but I really, really do. I also really love this foyer pendant light here. It just feels very traditional. It looks very big, and for the price, it looks like a very good price for the size. Again, just something I find very elevating, and it just all depends on how you style each piece. I also have one more on here that I just really love and had to add it in here. And then the other pendant light I added in here is actually like more wicker light. And the reason why I added this is because I noticed Nancy Meyers has a ton of wicker in her home, again with the textures. So I added this in here, but seeing it next to the pendant lights, I think looks absolutely beautiful. I also wanted to create a Nancy Meyers inspired board because I kind of am treating it as a vision board or mood board. Seeing these pieces kind of pulled all together and how they work together just really inspires me. And even just pulling the textures that she has in her home really flows really, really well in the board. Now, I did add a couple pieces that I didn't see in the photos, but that I felt like would belong in Nancy Meyers' home. So there's this water carafe that I just felt like would be something she would have in a guest bedroom. I personally love these. I think that they're so beautiful. Also in a bathroom, you could have these in there for when you're brushing your teeth. You could put your mouthwash in these, have your cup over top of it. I don't know, I felt like this was a really traditional piece that I would see in her home, so I added it to this board. Also, I added a couple casserole dishes. Again, I just felt like these were extremely timeless and something I felt like just really matched the vibe. But then I added this footed bowl with handles because I did see a little bit of blue and white in one of her photos. On her dining room, she has a blue and white vase with a beautiful floral arrangement inside. So this is something that I wanted to add because I felt like she probably has a little more blue and white in her home. And I personally love blue and white on its own. Bringing it out into my home, I'm still kind of learning how I want to do that. But this one is so absolutely breathtaking. I will say it's a splurge, but it is a piece that I would have out on display and use as decor, and also use whether that's for a fruit bowl or you could do a floral arrangement in here, whatever. I would use it for anything, but I just thought that this one, it just took my breath away. So I had to add it to this board, even though it was a splurge. Also in this board, I have this gorgeous bowl. Now this bowl was in one of my other boards and I pulled it and put it in this one. I've had my eye on this bowl for a while. I think that this is the most timeless bowl. You could use it for salads. You could use this for a fruit bowl. It's just so beautiful. You could also just put this on a coffee table. I just think it's stunning. It has such clean lines. It's absolutely beautiful and absolutely something I think Nancy Meyers would have in her home. Moving on, another item that I noticed that Nancy Meyers has in her home, specifically on her, it looks like her like outdoor living space. She has these candlesticks. And I love that she mixes her tall candlestick next to a smaller one. So in my board, I have some that look very similar. So the one to the left, this one looks extremely similar with the shape. The one I have in my board does have a handle, but I love it. I think it is so beautiful. I also have an individual candlestick holder in here, like a taper candlestick holder, but I have these set of 3 that look very similar to the one that she has on her back patio. So putting one and mixing it with that one and maybe setting the other 2 somewhere else. Mixing up your candlestick holders, I think, is brilliant. Instead of keeping all 3 pieces because they seem like a pair, switch them up, separate them, put them with other materials or just same material, other shapes. Brilliant. I love that. And I put quite a few different candlestick holders in this board. So depending on your style and your taste and which one you feel drawn to, I have quite a few to choose from. Also in this board, again, I just have more items that I feel like I would just see in Nancy Meyers' home. Like I said, she doesn't have too much decor. It seems very purposeful and very sophisticated, just kind of clean, pared back, which I love. It makes me want to pull some of my items and reset and just pull out some of my tchotchkes and reset. And get some more candlesticks and pull those out and just kind of pare back a little bit. It just feels so clean and just feels like it unclogs my mind just looking at the photos. So I could only imagine living in that space. But I did add this marble box because, again, I found that the items that I'm seeing in Nancy Meyers' home are items that feel very functional. So I totally feel like this would be in her home. Also a few baskets. Again, she's got baskets everywhere. So I have a ton of other baskets in here and basket trays. Baskets I think are so nice in trays because in boxes, because you can kind of hide things away, especially in the boxes. The trays corral, but they add in another texture, especially right now during the summer. I've always loved baskets and I have them all throughout my home as well. I love to hide things away in them, even boxes for my remotes or receipts, whatever the case. They are so beautiful. Another item I added is this stool / side table. This to me had a little bit more of a modern touch with a little bit of this sophisticated silhouette, but I just feel like this is something that would be in her home. Looking through these photos and just kind of getting to know her style through these photos, this is something I could totally see in her home that felt very Nancy Meyers inspired to me. So I added that to the board. Now, I've talked a ton about stripes. I love stripes. It's like the pattern to me that feels so incredibly timeless, and I've noticed bringing it into my home, I don't get sick of it. So I have this striped little vase, which I've shared this before. It's like a little bud vase. I actually did order this, so it should be coming any day. I'm super excited about this one. I love it. I love the tone of the black and the tone of the white, something I feel like I would see in Nancy Meyers' home. But I also found, where is it at? I gotta kind of scroll up and down of this board because I went crazy adding in this board, and I just added all this stuff right before this video, so I know I'm going to be adding more. Okay, this other small round black and white vase, which I thought would also be really beautiful and kind of capture that look. In this board, you're gonna notice I got some furniture in there. I have a little bit of decor, but a lot of it is very practical decor because that's what I noticed about Nancy Meyers, her home. It feels very practical, and it really made me want to reassess my decor and kind of go back to the basics, really start investing in basic decor that I will have for a long time. That being said, getting high quality throw blankets and throw pillows. So I added quite a few alpaca throws in here and wool throws, which again, I feel like is what she had in her home. Just by looking at the photos, you could just tell they were high quality. I also have a ton of vases in here because I did notice the one thing in Nancy Meyers' home she has is greenery, fresh florals, some eucalyptus, but they're all in vases, and she has ceramic. She has like more of a rattan vase. She has a pitcher that has like a blue ring around it. And my clay pot on her coffee table, she had a high glaze clay pot, so I added a few of them You know when you see a very beautifully designed space that you find really inspiring and you can look at it and find the things in your home and you feel so validated? That's exactly how I felt when I was going through some of her things. So I added quite a few vases in here. I have white ceramic, black ceramic, I have a ton in here. So I did try to fine tune what I had and curate specific ones that I feel like went with the vibe, went with the Nancy Meyers look. Oh, also this vase here, this one I added to my July board because it's back in stock and it's a very good deal for this beautiful 9.5-inch tall terracotta vase that looks like a vintage clay pot with the handles. Also, these sconces are absolutely beautiful. But I love this sconce. I think in the right space, whether that's a powder bathroom, down a hallway, this is such a beautiful sconce and I absolutely love it. I also have some linen shams in here that also have the like thicker flange around the pillow that I love. So I loved it in more of this like chocolate color and then this washed white linen. Oh, it's so beautiful. And I really want to add a little bit more of a sophisticated look to my space. So when I found these, I was so excited because I find that these are so hard to find, but I also think these would be so beautiful if you got them embroidered with, say, your initials or even just like the letter of your first name or last name, whatever you wanted. Oh, I love these. I think that they are stunning. And then the last two items I'm going to mention is two dinnerware sets. One I feel is very modern with a little bit more sharp edges, but I really loved the finish of these. I thought that they looked very elegant, very sophisticated, and I think would also look really good if you had open shelving. Having this set displayed I think would be stunning. But then I also found this set as well. It's a little bit softer, a little bit more curvy when it comes to the bowls. I love that it has detail that you almost have to like look to see. So if you look at it, you can see a little bit of this indented detail that I just think, oh, it's so pretty. And I personally have mine saved in the white, but it does come in multiple different colors. That is all I'm going to share today for today's Amazon video. Like I said, I have been smiling ear to ear because I just feel extremely happy with the look that I kind of curated for the Nancy Meyers vibe. It feels so approachable and like something we can accomplish in our home, especially if you guys have a similar style to me. We have a similar style to Nancy Meyers, I must say. So it was super exciting. I felt very excited to get down here and share with you guys. That list and my July list and my fall decor list is gonna be linked down below where you can shop all the items I shared, plus whatever else that I've shared in there, and my Amazon storefront where I have so many items. I mean, I've been sharing on there for years, so you can get lost in my Amazon storefront. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Let me know which item was your favorite, and I will see you guys in a couple days with another. Bye.
I would say we were good together.